This is Good Morning Suncoast. We're here for you.
Good morning, everyone. It is Friday the 13th. Thanks for joining us this morning. I'm Adam Cellini in for Ray Collins this morning, and standing by is ABC 7's meteorologist John Scalzi. John, good morning.
Good morning to you, Mr. Cellini, sir.
Hey, pleasure. What a welcome here in the morning.
Friday the 13th, eh?
Friday the 13th, which means good luck for weather, right?
Salt over the shoulder this morning, I guess. Yeah, I think we're looking at some pretty decent weather again today. We have a little bit better chance of seeing a few showers coming around. We have an easterly wind flow again today, and it's taking a little bit of moisture from the Atlantic and kind of slinging it back in this direction. You can see that pretty clearly here on Titan radar. Right now, nothing in our neck of the woods, so your morning commute should be a-okay. Satellite view not showing a whole lot of action around here, but certainly out in Gulf waters, you can see that spinning gyre of low pressure that is gradually going to give us a little bit better chance of rainfall. Most of the activity will be to our south, but nevertheless, we're going to factor in about a 30% chance of rainfall today as our daytime highs climb into the upper 80s. A little bit cooler than it was 24 hours ago. We'll have the forecast for you coming up in a few.
All right, thanks, John. And speaking of that morning commute, let's take a look at our first alert traffic right now. Up in Bradenton, a little bit of a slowdown already starting on State Road 64 for those hopping on I-75 south, but no accidents to report up there right now in Manatee County, as many of you are getting up this morning. In Sarasota, US 41 heading south, just south of downtown Sarasota. Looks like it is picking up right around Bee Ridge Road, but again, no accidents to report there. And in South Sarasota County, no accidents, and looks like traffic all green running north and south through that area. Well, our top story this morning, the first locally transmitted case of Zika in Florida has been reported this year, and it is in Manatee County. Health officials say a Bradenton couple who traveled to Cuba were both infected with the virus. ABC 7's Rick Adams tells us more.
It makes me pretty nervous because it's a really serious issue.
James Mitchell just found out about the Bradenton couple who recently contracted the Zika virus. It's the first reported case in Florida this year. Health officials say a woman was infected following a mosquito bite in Cuba back in late August. Then a mosquito in the backyard of their Bradenton home bit her, then her partner, transmitting the Zika virus. Mark Latham, director of the Manatee County Mosquito Control District, tells us folks around the Suncoast don't need to be too concerned about this.
We're right at the end of the mosquito season. This particular species of mosquito that transmits the disease is really a tropical mosquito, and we don't see populations are dropping rapidly now.
Officials say because of HIPAA law, the exact location of where this happened can't be disclosed. The Mosquito Control District inspected the area, then had a fog truck come into the neighborhood. When it was confirmed on October 6th that it was Zika, a helicopter was sent in to spray the area. Bradenton resident Mildred Long says because of all the mosquito control work the county does and the awareness of her neighborhood, she's not concerned with the Zika case.
All my neighbors have been diligent about walking around the houses and seeing that we don't have standing water. And so I'm not too worried right now.
We're being told the couple is doing fine. They did have some mild symptoms similar to the flu. For James Mitchell and his partner, they say they are now going to be a little more proactive when it comes to using bug repellent.
You just never know. I know it's like 1 in a million, but you never know if it could happen to you.
In Bradenton, I'm Rick Adams, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
And those with questions or concerns about mosquitoes or the virus in our area can find more information on our website, mysuncoast.com. Just look for the link to that story. Well, there have been new developments in the investigation into this shark dragging video that was shared millions of times on social media. Florida Fish and Wildlife officials say they are now wrapping up their investigation and are working to come to a swift and lawful resolution to that case. The case gaining national attention after this video was posted on Instagram showing a group of Suncoast men dragging a shark on the back of their boat. Investigators are still compiling evidence and will be handing it over to the state attorney's office soon. A representative with the state attorney's office tells ABC 7 once this case has been submitted to them, they will decide if charges should be filed. A follow-up now on a Sarasota man accused of fracturing the skull of his girlfriend's 3-year-old daughter. A sentencing hearing was held Thursday for Nicholas Ritter, charged with aggravated battery towards a child. According to the girl's family, Ritter received a sentence of 12 years in prison. He was arrested last September after bringing the girl to Sarasota Memorial Hospital and telling staff that she fell. Doctors found bruises on the child's chest and back, fractures on both sides of her skull, and a laceration on her chin, all injuries consistent with blunt force trauma. Ritter had been dating the child's mother for over a year at the time of that incident. The last of 3 defendants slated for a trial in a Bradenton couple's murder will not face the death penalty if convicted. Jimmy McNear is charged in the murder of Cantrell Brooks and Esser Denuse in July of 2015. The couple's 5 children were inside the home at the time of those killings. Last month, Trey No Nombre was convicted of murder, and Therese Jones took a plea deal in the case. McNear's trial will begin on November 1st. A Holmes Beach man is charged with murder and child abuse after a toddler in his care died. In August, police were called to the home on Peacock Lane in Holmes Beach, where they found 17-month-old Luca Shorley unresponsive. He was taken to the hospital but declared brain dead 2 days later. Doctors found Luca's injuries were consistent with child abuse and notified law enforcement. After an investigation, 31-year-old David Vickers was charged with second-degree homicide and aggravated child abuse. Detectives determined Luca had been physically abused by Vickers on several occasions. Hurricane Irma recovery still continuing on the Suncoast. Sarasota County's landfills will be open this Saturday from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. to help residents with storm debris. Waste management trucks for garbage and recycling are back to normal schedules, but yard waste routes continued to be delayed. If you have vegetative storm debris, please make sure it is kept completely separated from regular yard waste and garbage. Also, burning storm debris is prohibited unless residents obtain a permit from the Florida Forest Service. Well, with the World Rowing Championships in the rearview mirror, Nathan Benderson Park is turning their attention to new rowing endeavors. Thursday, NCAA Rowing Championship leaders were visiting the park to talk logistics before Sarasota hosts their event for the first time ever next spring. Nearly 40 teams from NCAA Divisions 1, 2, and 3 will compete at Nathan Benderson Park for the national championships during Memorial Day weekend.
We're really looking forward to coming down here to Sarasota, Florida, and just being here in meetings over the last couple of days and just learning about the area and just the great people that are involved in terms of this process. We are really looking forward to having this championship down here.
Benderson Park has also won bids to host the NCAA National Championships in 2020 and 2021. Progress is being made to both preserve and expand a portion of the Sarasota Bayfront. Now, a planning firm has been hired to lead the redevelopment of 42 acres of land around the Van Wezel Performing Arts Hall. ABC7's Jess Dowdrick tells us more.
There were 4 finalists in the running to create the Bay. Boston-based Sasaki winning the hearts of the Sarasota Bayfront Planning Organization.
When Sasaki interviewed with us, there were a lot of members of the community who also sat in on the interviews. They were as excited as we were.
It was Sasaki's sincere interest in helping the Sarasota community that board members say blew them away. That and their professional abilities shown through previous projects in Cincinnati and Chicago.
They took an area that was kind of blighted and just made it very vibrant.
Sasaki's next project, this oversized parking lot. A black canvas ready to be painted.
What we're hearing from the public is they want the 42 acres to remain as park-like as possible, but there has to be things for people to do there.
The Bay property stretches from the Bayfront to Tamiami Trail, Centennial Park to Boulevard of the Arts.
This community is a community that's built around arts and culture, and we think that it's important that arts and culture be a part of that.
The project is said to be rooted in community input, and they've made it clear they want free public access, from bike paths and walking trails to water taxis and easy navigation over US 41.
We are master planning for the next 50 years. So while there may be phasing or stages of development, we are looking at this being something that is sustainable, that's viable for 50, 100 years down the road.
But plans are all yet to be determined. Jess Dowdrick, ABC7, your Suncoast News.
And representatives from Sasaki are expected to come to Sarasota as early as December, and they will establish a hub here for the project. The group then will have a year to create this master plan and present it to the City Commission. Well, today on the Suncoast, the Florida Department of Children and Families is implementing the Food for Florida Disaster Program. That program allowing those affected by Hurricane Irma to apply for food benefits. 2 sites have been set up in both Manatee and Sarasota counties. The program will run from today until October 17th at the Westfield Sarasota Square Mall from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. for Irma victims in Sarasota and Charlotte counties. DeSoto Square Mall will host that program for Manatee County victims until October 17th, also from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. The White Cane Day Walk will be starting at Palmetto City Hall today at 10 a.m. That walk hoping to promote the National Vision Awareness Month and also trying to remind people that drivers must give right-of-way to pedestrians using a white cane, a guide dog, a walker, a crutch, or a wheelchair. If you wish to partake in this event, Palmetto City Hall is located right there on 8th Avenue West. And the Florida International Air Show takes off again this weekend at the Punta Gorda Airport. Everything from classic planes to craft beers will be a part of that event, as well as a show from an F-35 stunt team and the U.S. Army Golden Knights Parachute Squad. The air show is also hosting their first ever 5K run on Sunday. A 3-day pass costs $50 for that air show, and a 1-day admission is $20. That show will begin today at 10 a.m. Spectacular, those air shows. I don't know if you've ever seen those F-35.
I would give anything to take a ride in one of those.
That's exclusive to you. No chance I'm going in one of those.
Man, that would be some kind of fun.
You must have a strong stomach if you want to get into one of those.
I'm not promising anything, but
that's a lot of G's.
A lot of G's. But oh my goodness, what fun that must be. Once in a lifetime experience. I guess you can only go once, right?
Probably.
I believe that's the idea. We have across our region some changing weather over the next several days. Talk about that in just a few.
And coming up on Good Morning Suncoast, another First Alert traffic update, plus ABC7's Linda Carson will be showing us what the Suncoast will have to offer this weekend on the latest edition of Suncoast Scene. And coming up a little later in the hour, a look at those wildfires ravaging California. Stick around.
This is the story of a boy who is very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where nothing could get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. It made him feel uncomfortable. One day, he found out he had something called autism. His family got him help, and slowly, he learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. Our promise means a new car you'll love. If not, return it for one you do. At Sarasota Ford, we promise live market pricing. We monitor national pricing on our entire inventory, so you get the best deal. In fact, we guarantee it. Bring us any competitor's ad, and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
Is your old garage door stuck or broken? Would a new one give you a lift? Let Precision Door Overhead Garage Door Service of Sarasota come to the rescue with prompt and affordable repair service. Replacement doors come with an array of styles and colors, and they are rated to meet and exceed Florida standards. From estimates to installation, your satisfaction is our priority. If you're not 100% satisfied with any product, service, or installation, we will make it right, because Precision Door Service is a name you can trust.
If you're only hungry for a slice of apple pie, why buy the whole pie? And you certainly wouldn't want to pay for an all-you-can-eat buffet. So if you don't use your cell phone that much, why get charged for a plan that's too big, or even an unlimited plan? Luckily, there's still a wireless company that shares your values. Welcome to Consumer Cellular. Our average customer pays about $25 a month for everything they need. Many pay even less, as plans start at just $15 a month. You'll get a straightforward bill that's easy to understand with no surprises and all the attention you deserve from our friendly customer service team. No wonder Consumer Cellular has received the J.D. Power Award for highest customer service 3 times in a row. Plus, if you're an AARP member, you'll receive special discounts. It's easy to switch. You can even keep your phone and your number. So stop paying for more than you need and start your 30-day risk-free trial today.
Call 800-457-2317.
Go online or visit a Target store today.
Now, your ABC 7 First Alert weather forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
So I think we're going to see a little bit of a change up in today's weather, just a little bit. We're going to get a few more showers around. Our winds are going to switch a little bit more to an easterly direction from the northeasterly direction. And I think our dew point value, which is not pretty comfortable, it's 72, is going to rise just a little bit. Boy, we had some dew points in the 60s yesterday, upper 60s. That was really nice. I don't think we'll see that over the weekend. 75 degrees, the current air temperature. We have a fairly starry sky out there right now. 74 degrees, Wauchula, Arcadia, Mayaca. Parrish comes in at 75, 76 in Bradenton, Sarasota, 75 degrees in Venice, 75 degrees in Northport, Punta Gorda, and 77 degrees in Boca Grande. So across the region this morning, you can see the effect of that general easterly wind flow continuing on. That will eventually bring this plume of moisture that exists out in the Atlantic and kind of push it a little bit closer to our coastline. There's plenty of moisture out there, actually, and that little trough of low pressure is going to help inside a few scattered showers around. We're sort of on the dividing line between areas of Florida that are going to get virtually no rain, that would be north of Tampa Bay, and areas that will have consistent intermittent showers off and on throughout the really next 3 or 4 days, and that would be South Florida. So we're kind of stuck right in the middle of the two, and so we will see an increase in our rain shower chances. But it won't be an all-day washout kind of thing. Any day of the week, any day right straight through the weekend. So just a better chance, especially of afternoon showers. Across the nation, it's pretty quiet, actually. The Northeast looks good. The Mid-Atlantic looks pretty good. We got a few scattered showers, perhaps, in parts of the Carolinas and stretching down through Georgia today and into the Panhandle. There might be a few scattered showers. There's a cold front kind of stalled out down there. But really severe weather is not so much in the cards. Back toward Kansas City, up toward Chicago, there's a little bit of a chance of seeing some stronger storms. That's because of a low pressure area located there. But for us, if you see a thunderstorm, you'll be one of the few. I think most of the thunderstorms will be occurring down to the south of us. So here's our frontal boundary kind of stalling out over north central Florida today and eventually just washing away. An area of low pressure approaches the Florida Straits, a broad area of low pressure called an inverted trough. And that is just going to enhance rainfall chances a little bit as we head into the weekend, and maybe bumping up our rain chances from the 10% that we had yesterday to as much as 50% as we head into weekend, Sunday particularly. I think will probably be the wettest day. And then that trough carries on. A frontal boundary back to the west may actually make it through here on Tuesday or Wednesday of next week. We'll keep an eye on it and see if it actually does that. This one will not. That just kind of fizzles out. Sunny skies, low rain chances, and low humidity. Watch what happens. The dry air that is over us today, bringing us relatively low rain chances and lower humidity than we will see over the weekend, slowly gets replaced by this amount of moisture coming in with that trough. But it just sort of skirts us to the south, so we're kind of on the cusp between the warm and the dry. So we won't get a lot of rainfall around here, but certainly a few more showers around. The futurecast shows those scattered showers coming at us day after day, really. Not much of a change from one day to the next, with the exception that probably on Sunday we have a few more showers around. Forecast calls for a northeast wind at about 15, and then as we head into the weekend, a little bit better rain chances. Back to you.
All right, thanks, John. Let's take another look at our first alert traffic. Starting up in Manatee County, things very quiet this morning as many of you are waking up and getting on the roads. Not too many slowdowns up there and no accidents to report. Down in Sarasota, things picking up a little bit both directions on Bee Ridge Road, but other than that, a lot of green on the map around downtown Sarasota and the interstate, and heading into South Sarasota County, north-south on US 41 and I-75, all looking clear this morning. Well, theaters are starting their new show seasons, pumpkin patches are springing up, and festivals promoting global friendship are rolling into town. ABC 7's Linda Carson gives us a preview of all these local events coming up this weekend in Suncoast Scene.
You can pick your pumpkin and start your Halloween fun at the 29th Annual Fruitville Grove Pumpkin Festival. It's Thursday through Sundays through October 29th. And soon mighty hooves will pound down Main Street. Friday night at 5 o'clock, something really big is coming here in downtown Sarasota at the corner of Lemon, right in front of Madison's. The Clydesdales will be here.
They're going to go and do a little parade down Main Street. So they go down the 1400 block, come up to the roundabout, turn around and go to the 1500 block, and they're going to deliver beer to the old-fashioned way, to the restaurants and taverns along Main Street.
The Clydesdales don't visit Sarasota very often. This is a great opportunity to check them out up close and personal and join the fun at the 11th Annual Hungarian Festival.
We will have 8 different bands arriving from Hungary, and they will entertain us for the whole weekend. We will have pop rock, rock and roll, we will have folk music, and one of the new things that's going to happen this year, we also have a blues band.
There'll be athletic competitions and authentic Hungarian food.
Stuffed cabbage, that's a lot of Americans' favorite, and we're also going to have the chicken paprikash, of course we're going to have the goulash, we will have Hungarian sausage.
The Hungarian Festival here at the Sarasota County Fairgrounds, Saturday and Sunday. If you've been longing to travel, you can do it right here without ever leaving town. And the West Coast Black Theater Troupe opens their season with a Tony Award-winning musical, In the Heights.
It's a celebration of culture, family, heritage, discovering of oneself, and it takes place in Washington Heights in Manhattan.
And there's great singing and dancing.
There's a lot of rap going on. There are romantic ballads. There are up-tempo kind of rhythmic, island rhythmic kind of things going on. And
the Selby Gardens Orchid Show just opened.
People will see specimens from the preserved collection, so herbarium and spirit specimens, so dried and pressed plants, and then mostly orchid flowers suspended in preservative fluids. And they will also see examples from the bibliographic collection, primarily botanical books and prints.
The Orchid Show is at Selby Gardens from October 12th through November 26th. Come down and look, and you'll know why they're calling it Earth, Air, Fire, and Water. For Suncoast Scene, Linda Carson, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
Clearly no chance to say there's nothing to do out there this weekend. Get out, do something. Still ahead on Good Morning Suncoast, teams from USA and Japan will engage in a giant robot duel, and coming up at 5:30, shots from space reveal the extent of the wildfire devastation in California. Stick around, those stories when we come back.
During the past 10 years, Tidewell Hospice volunteers have provided more than 1 million hours of service. They sit with patients, giving caregivers a break. They work in offices. They take their furry friends on pet therapy visits. They even clown around. Every task performed by a volunteer makes a difference in the lives of our patients and their families. Join Tidewell's volunteer team. They're truly 1 in a million. Tidewell Hospice. It's more than you think.
You studied hard, went to college, and achieved your dream, but it turned into a financial nightmare. If you have federal student loans and you'd like to reduce your payments, get more time, or have your loans completely eliminated, then we have good news. With one call to Student Loan Relief Services, you can find support and guidance. We've already helped thousands of people, and we can help you too. If you have $10,000 or more in federal student loans, you can qualify for payment extensions, payment reductions, or you may qualify to have your federal student loan completely forgiven. Call Student Loan Relief Services now to find out about your options. Take control of your finances and get out from under this burden. One of our student loan experts has the answers to your questions and great solutions to ease your financial burden. We're here for you. Call Student Loan Relief Services now.
Call 800-759-0203, 800-759-0203.
SRQ Performance Parts provides parts and accessories from over 300 manufacturers, so you can get that new manifold, carburetor, gasket, bolt kit, or nitrous oxide system fast. We'll help you beat the competition. Call or visit SRQ Performance Parts online today for all your high-performance parts and advice.
Watch your Suncoast News at 6 on your streaming device for a chance to win a $50 Visa. It's easy. Just watch weekdays at 6 for the word of the week. Then enter the word at mysuncoast.com for your shot at a $50 Visa. We'll pick the winner each week. Good luck.
Welcome back. For those of you trying to stay up to date on the latest local news, we are proud to announce our new ABC7 My Suncoast News app. If you're an iPhone or iPad user and currently have our news app, you'll want to go to the App Store now and download WWSB ABC7 Tampa My Suncoast. It is completely free and provides the most comprehensive news coverage for Sarasota, Manatee, Charlotte, Hardee, and DeSoto counties. And if you're an Android user, don't worry, you'll get the new version of that app automatically. Well, Google has announced its largest philanthropic pledge to date, meant to help Americans adjust to the tech-based economy. ABC's Candice Gibson and Diane Macedo have the details in this morning's Tech Bites.
In today's Tech Bites, Google has pledged $1 billion to help Americans train for high-tech jobs.
The program will invest the money in nonprofits over the next 5 years. Google says the goal is to allow anyone with an internet connection to become proficient with technology.
Russian agents reportedly used Pokemon Go to stir up racial tensions ahead of the presidential election.
According to CNN, a contest called Don't Shoot Us featured a Pokemon character named Eric Garner, the same name of a black man who died after being put in a police chokehold in New York. And get ready to watch two fighters with hands of steel in the heavyweight battle of the year.
Oh yes, giant robots from the U.S. and Japan are squaring off online. The event won't be live. It was recorded over a few days.
The Rock'em Sock'em robot fight will be streamed on Tuesday.
I know what I'm doing on Tuesday.
Those robots must be tired.
And yeah. Those are your Tech Bites.
Tech Bites. Brought to you by Crest Pro Health.
My daughter is studying to be a dentist, and she gave me advice. She said, "Dad, go pro with Crest Pro Health."
Crest Pro Health protects all these areas dentists check most.
Immediately, I felt a difference. It did an extremely good job of cleaning.
4 out of 5 dentists confirm these Pro Health products helped maintain a professional clean. Go pro with Crest Pro Health.
My daughter inspired me to make a change. Crest Pro Health really brought my mouth to the next level.
Crest, healthy, beautiful smiles for life.
When you have a cold, stuff happens. Shut down cold symptoms fast with maximum strength Alka-Seltzer Plus liquid gels.
Mom still thinks Burlington is the place for coats. This time of year, she's absolutely right.
Fashion coats, quilted coats, gloves, scarves, boots, hats. All the great brands at a fraction of the cost. Burlington may not be called Coat Factory anymore,
but they still have lots and lots of coats.
So many possibilities worth exploring. Minnesota Flooring.
And for a limited time, Minnesota Flooring is offering you unbelievable pricing on tile and laminate. Porcelain tile only $1.59. Ceramic tile 99 cents. And 16 by 16 tile $1.19. Laminate flooring is only 99 cents. But these prices won't last. Don't miss out on these great deals. Hurry into Minnesota Flooring today.
Let me introduce you to the ultimate Florida window. Do you feel safer with this or this? You'll be proud too.
Buy more, save more. Volume discounts on 4 or more windows.
Are you currently on Medicare? In other words, do you carry the red, white, and blue Medicare card? If so, are you suffering from chronic back pain? If you answered yes, you may be eligible for a pain-relieving back brace covered by Medicare at little to no cost, shipped directly to your home for free. These medical-grade back braces are ideal for lower back pain, arthritis, spinal disorders, and other chronic back problems. Will you qualify for a medical-grade back brace?
Call Back Brace America at 1-800-683-9262.
Coast Guard, we are taking on water.
The United States Coast Guard. They secure our ports and waterways, protect our environment, keep drugs away from our kids, and save lives. It's dangerous work. And in times of triumph or tragedy, the Coast Guard Foundation answers the call to support Coast Guard members and their families. Learn more at coastguardfoundation.org.
It's been about a month, and I can honestly say I've seen the change in me. I went from being a depressed girl who didn't want help to this happy, caring girl who loves helping other people. I just really hope that people that went through what I went through get the help that they need because their story is important and they are loved. Thank you so much for everything.
Once you get atrial fibrillation, you need to have a very close relationship with your primary doctor. Prevention is the whole ball game here, because once you have a stroke, you can't undo it. A year without stroke, it's a year that you can enjoy doing the things that you've worked all your life to finally get to do. You took care of yourself. You did what is necessary for you to be around one more year. And then next year, we'll celebrate one more year without a stroke.
ABC 7 is the most watched, most trusted news source on the Suncoast, and we owe it all to you, our loyal viewers. Thank you for making us #1.
Coming up on Good Morning Suncoast, wildfires continue to scorch parts of California. The latest on the progress being made to save the Golden State. Plus, President Trump is likely to announce his plan today to seize the the Iran nuclear deal while still dealing with fallout from his actions on health care. And an American woman and her Canadian husband and their 3 children finally free after being held by the Taliban for 5 years. Their harrowing story coming up on Good Morning Suncoast.
Live from the ABC 7 studios, this is Good Morning Suncoast. We're here for you.
Hello and thanks for joining us this morning. It is 5:31. I'm Adam Cellini in for Ray Collins this morning. And of course with me is John Scalzi standing by in our weather center. And John, welcome to this vowel-filled edition of Good Morning Suncoast.
Exactly right. We're looking at quite a busy morning here this Friday the 13th. We have a little bit more moisture around to produce a few scattered showers, and temperatures will slowly be rising during the morning hours over the next several mornings because we're going to increase our dew points just a little bit. 72 degrees, says Mark, our new weather watcher. Would like to thank him for joining in and bringing us his data. He's from Palmetto. 72 degrees there. And Cooper, also a new weather watcher. Good to have you on board as well. From South Central Sarasota, he's got 75 degrees. Across the region right now, a few scattered showers moving in from the Atlantic, producing some light rainfall on the other coast. Nothing here locally. Your morning commute should be just A-OK. We do have a lot of cloud cover out there in the Atlantic and the Florida Straits. If you kind of watch the sort of gyre, the motion of those clouds, you kind of get the sense that the northernmost layer is moving from east to west and the southernmost layer moving from west to east. There's a kind of low pressure trough down there that's spinning those clouds, and so we get that general easterly wind flow between that low pressure area and a high pressure area north of us. Our rain chance up today to about 30%. Complete forecast details coming up in a few.
All right, thanks, John. Let's take a look at our first alert traffic this morning as those of you are waking up and getting on the roads. Up in Manatee County, no accidents to report at this time, but a bit of a slowdown near that intersection of 301 and State Road 70. Also on the other side of the interstate on State Road 64 heading east. Down in Sarasota, looks like US 41 traffic starting to pick up a little bit south of downtown right around Bee Ridge Road. And heading into South Sarasota County, a lot of green up on US 41 north and south, and no accidents to report there as well. Well, topping our news this half hour, the latest on the California wildfires. Those massive blazes have killed at least 31 people and damaged thousands of homes already, businesses and other buildings. ABC's Maggie Ruley has the latest.
Firefighters in an all-out battle against what could become the deadliest and most destructive wildfires in California's history.
We are not out of this emergency. We're not even close to being out of this emergency.
On the ground, standing hand to hand, going house to house. And in the air, DC-10s and this 747 super tanker soaking from above. Fighting thick smoke and rough terrain, they're up against erratic and unpredictable fires fueled by wind gusts up to 45 miles an hour.
Because they're everywhere.
And a number of these fires, as they grow, are actually growing together.
From above, the devastation is hard to comprehend. More than 250 square miles charred. Block after block in Santa Rosa wiped out.
The fire ripped through here with such heat that it burned through cars, turning their aluminum wheels into nothing but rivers of metal.
Many neighborhoods still standing are evacuating before it's too late.
I can't believe this is really happening. We've never been in a situation like this.
Folks are being smart. Get out while you can.
The death toll continues to rise and hundreds more are missing. Authorities now using cadaver dogs to find victims.
These fires are so widespread that nearly everyone we've met here has been affected in some way. And unfortunately, with red flag warnings through the weekend, it may only get worse. Maggie Rulli, ABC News, Santa Rosa, California.
And satellite images are now showing us just how devastating these California wildfires truly are. These images coming from NASA's Terra satellite, and they are currently being used to examine the extent of that damage. NASA is also receiving some assistance from both the European Space Agency as well as NOAA. Well, Amazon says it plans to hire 120,000 new employees. The e-commerce giant's beefing up for the holidays, and those warehouse positions are temporary, but the company hopes many of its new hires will continue on with full-time jobs after that peak season ends. The positions are scattered across dozens of fulfillment centers in 33 states. Retailer Target also plans to beef up its workforce with 100,000 holiday workers, and Macy's is hiring 80,000. Walmart says it's going to give current workers extra hours instead of hiring temporary workers. Amazon hired about the same number of temp workers during last year's holiday season. Well, after months of bashing the Iran nuclear accord while simultaneously keeping it alive, President Trump is expected to decertify that agreement in a speech today as part of his new policy towards Iran. ABC's Lana Zach has more on that story.
With plans to repeal and replace Obamacare failing in Congress, the Trump administration announced a move that may kill it outright. Late at night, a statement from the White House said that the administration will no longer provide the $7 billion government payments to offset insurance costs for low-income Americans, calling them unlawful.
This is crazy town. This is a decision that is opposed by every major medical organizations, the doctors, the nurses, the hospitals.
President Obama's former chair of the Council of Economic Advisors speaking on MSNBC.
That will be a catastrophic decision that will lead to millions of people losing their insurance.
The cuts threaten to plunge the exchanges into turmoil and could trigger a spike in premiums unless Congress authorizes the money. Earlier in the day, the president had signed an executive order on health insurance and asked his administration to look into expanding health care associations across state lines.
You will be hopefully negotiating, and you'll get such low prices for such great care.
And the president plans to undo another major action of the Obama administration today.
The Iran deal
expected to decertify the Iran nuclear deal, pushing it back to Congress to decide what action to take. Congress will have 60 days to decide. Critics charge that Iran has maintained their part of the nuclear deal, and their president said that if the United States decides unilaterally to kill it, it will be clear which country, quote, violates international rules. Lana Zach, ABC News, Washington.
The Trump administration is also delaying its decision on whether it should reveal secret details of a $17 billion deal between Iran and Boeing. The administration asked a Chicago federal court on Thursday for a 2-month extension to make that decision. They want more time to decide if revealing the secret details of this deal would hinder a key part of the Iranian nuclear agreement. Boeing argues that releasing those secret details of the deal with the Trump administration could potentially undermine the agreement. President Trump is expected to announce plans to reject that agreement this afternoon. New York police are investigating allegations of sex crimes against embattled film producer Harvey Weinstein. Accusations of rape against Weinstein were outlined in a recent New Yorker article. A law enforcement source says NYPD investigators are trying to locate and interview victims referred to in that article. One of Weinstein's accusers, says in 2004 he forced her to perform a sex act in his New York office. Investigators also want to talk to Ronan Farrow, who wrote the article. They want him to identify an unnamed accuser interviewed in that piece. A spokeswoman for Weinstein says he believes his relationships with his accusers were consensual. An American woman, her Canadian husband, and their 3 children are finally free after being held by the Taliban for 5 years. Video released by the Taliban last December showing Caitlin Coleman, Joshua Boyle, and 2 of their children. Coleman and Boyle were kidnapped in 2012 while traveling as tourists in Afghanistan. All of their children were born in captivity. The U.S. confirming a Pakistani army statement that those hostages were recently freed by security forces. The family is currently in Pakistan but is expected to make their return to Canada. 2 are dead and 10 people are injured after an attempted prison escape in North Carolina on Thursday. It happened at the Pascatonk Correctional Institution in Elizabeth City. The North Carolina Department of Public Safety says fires were set at the prison, as several inmates tried to escape. Prison employees are among those injured. The prison and 3 nearby schools were placed on lockdown during this incident. The lockdown at the schools has since been lifted. Officials say the situation at the prison is now under control. Attorney General Pam Bondi is taking action against companies targeting financially distressed Floridians. Bondi's office filing a complaint against HOA Problem Solutions and several other companies for using deceptive and unfair practices to take properties from financially distressed homeowners. These homes face foreclosure from outstanding HOA dues. According to the complaint, the company gained control of those properties, rented out those homes, and collected the rent for personal profit. The complaint says the company also failed to tell the tenants that their properties were facing foreclosure and that they might not be able to stay through the terms of those leases. House Republican leaders this week are outlining a proposal to allow students who are bullied or suffer violence to transfer to other public schools. They can also receive money to attend private schools. House Speaker Richard Corcoran announcing that proposal during a news conference at the Capitol, though a bill has yet to be filed. Corcoran says the idea is to help protect students.
When an incident occurs, do we want the child to be trapped in the same school? And the answer to that, and I think everybody agrees, is no. We want to provide that child an alternative and a way to get out of the school.
Now, under the proposal, students and parents would report bullying and other incidents to schools. After a 15-day window, they could move to another public school or receive a scholarship to attend a private school. And as the impact on last month's hurricanes fade, fewer people are now seeking unemployment benefits. The Labor Department reporting weekly applications for the U.S. unemployment, for U.S. unemployment aid fell by 15,000 last week. The number of people seeking unemployment aid in Puerto Rico also falling, although that may reflect ongoing power outages and other damages in the country that have made it more difficult for people to apply for that aid. And Delta Airlines is now among others reporting a loss in revenue due to the recent hurricanes. Delta announcing its 3rd quarter saw $140 million losses in revenue, due to canceled flights from Hurricane Irma. Despite that, the airline is expecting to make up those losses as we enter the holiday travel season. Florida's famous oranges are still falling from trees weeks after Hurricane Irma. State officials also say there will be fewer Florida vegetables on Thanksgiving tables because of the devastation from the storm. Agricultural Commissioner Adam Putnam and Florida farmers say the storm damaged crops of all kinds. Losses reported include peanuts, strawberries, cotton, and tomatoes, even Florida-grown poinsettias, which are normally available around Christmas time. Putnam says farm workers in many parts of Florida have had no crops to pick.
The long-term nature of that loss is significant in the sense that because of the storms, you have tree damage, you have long-term damage, you have structural damage. That means that not only did you lose this year's crop, but it means that you will have reductions in future years' crops as well.
Beyond crops, the state's cattle industry damage assessment was nearly $240 million, and the hit to the dairy industry is estimated around $12 million. Federal health officials are dropping a Florida nursing home from the Medicare program after 14 patients died during Hurricane Irma. On September 13th, 8 residents died and others were evacuated from the sweltering Rehabilitation Center at Hollywood Hills. 6 more have since died, which attorneys say was a result of the conditions and evacuations immediately following the storm. The Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services said in a statement that the facility will be terminated today due to their failure to meet Medicare's basic health and safety requirements. A spokeswoman for the home says they will appeal and look forward to showing evidence that their actions were consistent with all state and federal rules. The sign known for greeting visitors to the island of Key West has now been found. That iconic Welcome to Key West sign on US 1 disappeared last month during Hurricane Irma, but recently turned up in Fort Myers Beach. Wow, it's a long way up north there. An unidentified couple dropped it off early Thursday morning, and that sign, along with supplies, will soon be delivered back to Key West where it belongs. Maybe a small uplifting moment for Key West as they continue to kind of rehab down there.
Yeah. That's great. That's a little history to that
yeah.
sign.
It's nice.
That's kind of cool. Different weather pattern shaping up for us over the next several days. We'll talk about that in just a few.
And still ahead on Good Morning Suncoast, the latest on First Alert Traffic Plus. According to a new study published, childhood obesity is increasing worldwide. We'll tell you why coming up next in Health Smart.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. AndServices.com. AndServices.com.
Need more space in your place? The More Space Place can help. With Murphy beds that disappear to reveal a home office, living room, or den. Custom closets with designated areas for your shoes, bags, wardrobe, and accessories. Custom-built entertainment centers, garage storage systems, and more. The More Space Place has 3 showrooms next to Sunny's on US 41 South in Sarasota, on Lakewood Ranch Boulevard just south of State Route 64 in Bradenton, and on Tamiami Trail next to Panera Bread in Port Charlotte. Put more space in your place at the More Space Place.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
If you're only hungry for a slice of apple pie, why buy the whole pie? And you certainly wouldn't want to pay for an all-you-can-eat buffet. So if you don't use your cell phone that much, why get charged for a plan that's too big, or even an unlimited plan? Luckily, there's still a wireless company that shares your values. Welcome to Consumer Cellular. Our average customer pays about $25 a month for everything they need. Many pay even less, as plans start at just $15 a month. You'll get a straightforward bill that's easy to understand with no surprises and all the attention you deserve from our friendly customer service team. No wonder Consumer Cellular has received the J.D. Power Award for highest customer service 3 times in a row. Plus, if you're an AARP member, you'll receive special discounts. It's easy to switch. You can even keep your phone and your number. So stop paying for more than you need and start your 30-day risk-free trial today. Call 800-457-2317. Go online or visit a Target store today.
Do you have type 2 diabetes, which requires daily blood monitoring? If you have diabetes, are you on Medicare, Obamacare, or other health insurance? If you answered yes, you may be eligible for diabetic testing supplies at little to no out-of-pocket cost to you. Our accredited staff will handle all of your paperwork for free. And best of all, your diabetic testing supplies are shipped directly to your home for free. Call now to see if you qualify for a meter upgrade and a free pedometer to monitor your daily walking. Use alternate testing sites, a smaller blood sample, and even hear your results out loud. Will you qualify for diabetic testing supplies and an upgraded meter covered by Medicare, Obamacare, or health insurance at little to no out-of-pocket cost to you?
Find out for free by calling the Diabetes Resource Center at 1-800-394-1098. That's 1-800-394-1098, 1-800-394-1098.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. AndServices.com. AndServices.com.
Now your ABC 7 First Alert Weather Forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
75-degree air temperature, dew point climbing a little bit at 72. We had some dew points in the 60s yesterday. My goodness, did that feel good. Well, it's starting to climb, and I think over the course of the weekend, seeing a dew point in the 60 will probably be a rarity. We're looking at a northeast wind coming in at about 8, and temperatures across the region generally in the same ballpark of mid-70s most everywhere. 75, a popular number. We have an east-northeast wind developing today. We've got a few stronger showers out in the Atlantic waters. The tendency this morning will be for those showers to kind of die out just as soon as they make landfall on the east coast. But as we moisten the atmosphere with this continual push of moisture, we will eventually start to up our rain chances just a little bit. We have the best chance of rainfall, I think, the further south we go. And during the morning commute, we should be rain-free. But later in the day, certainly we'll start to up our rain chances from the 10% where we were yesterday to perhaps as much as 30% this afternoon. Got a couple of fronts across the nation right now. One of them perhaps producing some severe weather today around Kansas City. The second produced a little bit of cooler air across the nation, but that's in the process of stalling out and eventually just washing away while this front sinks southward. For us, a little trough of low pressure works its way westward, and will provide us with this easterly wind flow that helps to bring us better rain chances right straight through the weekend, it looks like. So here's your forecast. We have a northeast wind surging a little bit at about 15 knots. That brings us 2 to 3 foot seas and a moderate chop on bay and inland waters. And the forecast for the weekend ahead looks a little wetter, a few more clouds around. That'll lower our temperatures just a little bit from where we have been. We had seen temperatures in the 90s. Now we'll see them in the upper to mid 80s. 50% chance of rain on Sunday. Back to you.
All right, thanks, John. Let's take another look at our first alert traffic maps. Things starting to pick up a little bit on State Road 70 up there in Bradenton and a little on US 301 heading south, but no accidents to report right now up near downtown Bradenton. Also in Sarasota, still quiet this morning. A little bit of traffic you can see there on US 41 and Clark Road heading towards the interstate. And down in South Sarasota County, traffic along US 41 right north there just below Clark Road, picking up a little bit, but things moving smooth north and south down there. Well, in Health Smart News, a new report finds the number of obese children and adolescents is more than 10 times higher than it was 40 years ago. Kim Hutcherson breaks down these results and what can be done about it.
124 million children around the world were obese in 2016. Another 213 million children and adolescents were overweight. That's according to a study published in The Lancet. Researchers say the increase has plateaued in higher income countries like the U.S., but remains too high. Meanwhile, the rise in obesity has accelerated in low and middle income regions, particularly in the East and South Asia. According to the report's authors, as some countries have become wealthier, low-income populations are at risk of having access only to foods that are high in calories but low in nutrients. Being obese as a child can eventually lead to an increased risk of diabetes, cardiovascular disease, and some cancers. Doctors are hoping their research will generate more political action. They say sugar taxes, restricting marketing of unhealthy foods, and increasing physical activity at schools are all effective ways to combat childhood obesity. For today's Health Minute, I'm Kim Hutcherson.
And still ahead on Good Morning Suncoast, a sheltered dog gets a taste of the cop life. We'll have more on Mickey and his amazing day as a canine cop coming up after this.
What to do when your heating or air conditioning needs service or, heaven forbid, replacement? Call Air Now today. We've been serving Sarasota and Manatee County since 1946. We offer $49.95 tune-ups, lease or finance options, and remember, service today or it's free.
I was always worried and scared. Mom was in pain. She wasn't going to get any better, and all the trips to the ER were painful for all of us. Then we called Tidewell Hospice, and everything changed. Now she has care in our home when she needs it, surrounded by family. We know we don't have much time left with Mom, but we decided to make the best out of that time. Tidewell Hospice, it's more than you think.
Let me introduce you to the ultimate Florida window. Do You'd feel safer with this
or this.
You'll be proud too.
Buy more, save more. Volume discounts on 4 or more windows.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. We promise we're more than a dealership. We're a destination with a movie theater, massage room, aquarium, cafe, and more. We promise to give you top dollar for your trade, even if you don't buy from us. And if you do, we promise you the best deal. Bring us any competitor's ad and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
Every child follows a path in life. For many, that path will lead them to a door that gives them a place to grow, to learn, to belong, a place to forge their future. Because while many doors open, these doors transform. They did for us. Support your local Boys and Girls Clubs. Great futures start here.
When it comes to drinking, what do you think moderation is? The U.S. Dietary Guidelines define moderation as up to 1 drink a day for women and up to 2 drinks a day for men. So what's a drink? The guidelines say a drink equals 12 ounces of beer, 5 ounces of wine, or a cocktail with 1.5 ounces of distilled spirits. Each contains the same amount of alcohol. Like to learn more? Visit drinkinmoderation.org.
I love taking care of my mom. It wasn't easy at first. She learned how to better communicate her needs.
And you learned how to not ignore yours.
I discovered how to make healthier meals.
And I discovered how much I enjoyed them.
Becoming a caregiver is a learning experience for everyone. Find articles, tips, and tools from experts and others who have been in your place. The Caregiving Resource Center at aarp.org/caregiving.
Welcome back. Canines and cops are a relationship as old as time, but many police departments choose not to work with shelter dogs. Well, police in La Vista, Nebraska are trying to change that. This is Mickey, a 6-year-old bull terrier mix who's getting ready for his first day as a canine cop. It's a new Canine for a Day program, a partnership between the police department and the Nebraska Humane Society. That program allowing shelter dogs to get out into the community and help out wherever they can. Police and the Humane Society are hoping the program can help encourage adoptions in the area. Very sweet.
That's a great idea. Yeah. What a win-win situation for everybody, you know. Plus, you know, it's a nice little outreach for the police department as
Can't say no when you see those dogs' faces.
Exactly right. We have some pleasant weather for us today. We'll talk about that coming up in a few.
All right, and plenty more news coming right up.